Okay, so welcome everyone. We are starting inverse Z transforms. Uh, Inverse Z transform in mathematics is defined as follows. Z fn equals to f of z if we define this as a Z transform. So what is Z inverse transform? Z transforms of the function Z equals to f of n. It means that if in the Z transform, if we are using the function and we are getting the function of Z, while in the inverse Z transform, we are taking Z inverse here and getting the function n. Means the difference in the inverse Z transform and Z transform is, in the Z transform you should have the function of n and you will get the function of z, while in the inverse Z transform we should have the function of z and will get the function of n. So this is just similar like the differentiation and integration. What happened in the differentiation? Suppose I am giving one example. If differentiation of x square is 2x, and if you are integrating this again, you will get the same function x 2x, and you are integrating to x square by 2, means 2 is cancelling, so you will get x square. So it means that these are the reciprocal. Differentiation is the reciprocal of the integration. Integration is the reciprocal of differentiation. The same here in the inverse Z transform. If you are using the function of n here and getting the function of z, while in the inverse Z transform we will use the function of z and getting the same function f of n. So these we can see with this table where there are some formulae, important formulae, and these are the standard result which you have to learn for solving the problem based on the inverse Z transform. So let's see first what are these important and standard formulae. So the first formula we know, if the function is n, the function is n means it is a to the power n. So how we write the Z transform of it? We know the Z transform of it we write by the definition of the Z transform, Z upon Z minus A. So in the previous lecture already we discussed about it, ki how to find a Z transform of some function, some standard function like 8 to the power n, n square, n cube. So these are some standard result for which we know how to find Z transform by using Z transform definition. So these standard result of the Z transform we get from the Z transform definition. The first formula, if f of n e to the power n, the Z transform is Z upon Z minus A. So if you want to find the inverse of it, so what we will do, we'll just put here Z inverse. Means I will put here Z inverse in this. So again the same thing I will get this one. A n, this was the function f of n and its Z transform f of z is this. Here you are taking f inverse and getting the same function f of n e to the power n. So the first result which we are learning here is Z inverse of Z upon Z minus A is e to the power n. So just I'm giving one example. If I want to write Z inverse of Z upon Z minus 1, so the answer of is 1 to the power n. Similarly, if I am writing Z inverse of Z upon Z minus k, so the answer will be k to the power n. So in this way we can use Z transform of this standard function, which is f of z, which is the function of z here. So this was the use of the first standard result e to the power n. Similarly, if you have the function next e to the power n minus 1. So for the n minus 1, e to the power n minus 1, we write the Z transform with the definition of the Z transform 1 upon Z minus A. And if you are taking Z inverse here, Z inverse in this, we'll get the same function again, e to the power n minus 1. So this is the standard formula of the Z inverse 1 upon Z minus A, which is a to the power n minus 1. Okay. Now, the third formula we know of the Z transform. If the function n is given n and we want to write it, Z transform, so the Z transform of this function is z upon z minus 1 the square. And if you are just putting z inverse here, that is you want to find z inverse of it, will get the z inverse which is again n. So the z inverse of z upon z minus 1 square, which is the function of z, you will get n. So these formulae, these all standard formulae we have to learn. Okay, now the next formula, if it is the multiple, if the first is multiple of n. So if it is multiple of n, and we know what is the formula of the z transform, az upon z minus a the square. Now, to find z inverse of it, just put here z inverse and getting this result again. Means again you will get the sequence f of n, which is n a to the power n. So this is the inverse z transform of az upon z minus a the square. I am giving example for it. Suppose you have z inverse 2z upon z minus 2 the square. So it is necessary that if it is 2, it should be 2. If it is A, it should be A. If it is 3, it should be 3. So what will be the formula here? The formula we can write here n a. What is A here? A is 2 to the power n. So this is the answer of the answer, or we can say z inverse of this particular function. So in this way we can use this standard formula in some question. So I think everyone has clear about ki how to get z inverse of the function z, and how we can write these particular formulae with the z transform. So this complete list from 1 to 7 I have written here, and you all have to learn this particular list. Now see how we use these standard result or other result also, because there are many formulae and it is not possible to just show all these formulae here. So whatever the formula is required for this lecture, only I have shown this formula in this these formulae here in this particular list. Now the next topic, that is very important topic if we are using the z inverse transform for the sequence. So this is very important theorem, convolution theorem we see. Like in the Laplace transform, we studied about the convolution theorem, convolution for the Laplace transform. Same here, we will use convolution theorem for the sequences. So first of all, you should know ki what is the convolution actually. So convolution always we use for the two sequences, like in the Z transform, what we are doing, we are using only sequence f of n. So if I am writing only sequence, single sequence, so we'll say sequence f of n here. But if we are talking about two sequences, so I can say this is sequence 1 and this is sequence another. So suppose you have two sequence. What are the two sequence? The first sequence is fn and another sequence is gn. Now we want to convolute it. We want to find the convolution of these sequence. So to find the convolution of these two sequence, how we will write? We will write this convolution by fn star gn. Fn star gn is what? This is the convolution of two sequences. Means we can say ki if we have two sequence fn and gn, then convolution of these two can be written as fn star gn. Now we know this is only star, the symbol star is we are using for the convolution for two sequences. And what are these sequences? The sequence is fn and gn. We can define convolution by fn star gn, and this is equals to summation k equals to 0 to n fk into g n minus k. So convolution of the two sequence always we define as a fn star gn. This is equals to k0 to n. We just replace this n by k. This we write fk into the g is replaced by gn minus k. Means we are seeing here in the convolution the star is replaced by now dot. Means this is simple product. So for the star means if we are just convoluting two function or two sequence fn and gn, so we'll always define this definition fn star gn. This is equals to summation k 0 to n fk gn minus k. So just remember this formula कि fn star gn equals to summation k equals to 0 to n fk gn minus k. Now this is very important point कि always this convolution is commutative. Commutative means we know if we write for the dot means multiplication a dot b equals to b dot a. Similarly for the addition a plus b equals to b plus c. The same result we use for the convolution कि always fn star gn is equals to gn star fn. So this is the property कि convolution always commute. Means convolution obeys the commutative law. Means if you are writing gn first and then taking star into fn next, there will be no effect. You will get the same answer. So if in some question if it is difficult to find out the convolution by using fn star gn, so what we can do, we can take gn first and fn next. There will be no effect on the answer in the z transform. So now we see कि how to use the z inverse transform and convolution in some questions. So for this first of all just try to understand कि how to use this convolution in the z transform. So to write the z transform of the convolution means fn star gn. So remember this formula कि if we are taking z transform of the two function which we are convoluting, we'll write the z transform of the first function here and then z transform of the next function. Means you will just write z of the fn and z of the gn and then just product. So we know we can write z fn as a fz and z gn as a gz. So this is the z transform. It is very simple. If we are finding the z transform of the two functions, so what we will do, we'll write the z transform of the first function, z transform of the other function and just find out the product. This is very simple. But if you are finding the inverse z transform of this, inverse z transform of this, so you will take z inverse on both sides, means z inverse fz gz. And what we will write? We will write here fn star gn. And we know what is fn star gn. We have just seen in the previous page. We will write summation n vary from 0 to, we will write summation this k equals to 0 to n and we just replace n by k and g by n minus k. So we have to write this value equivalent to this value. So this is the inverse z transform in the convolution of two sequences. And always remember कि what is fn? Fn is nothing but it is the z inverse of the function of first which is the function of z, and gn is the z inverse transform of the other function g of z. So these all point or definition you have to learn to solve the question. So let's see now how to solve some question of the z inverse transform by using the convolution method. Actually there are many methods by which we can find the z inverse transform. The first method in our course is the convolution method first, and the next method is partial fraction method. So we are studying today how to find z inverse transform by using convolution method. So we are going to start to solve some problem based on the convolution method to find z inverse of the given function. So the question number 1 which I am clearing here, this is the example of the z inverse transform for the convolution theorem. So in this question, what is written? Using convolution theorem to find z inverse of this function. Z inverse of this function. So obviously here this particular function, I am writing the function z square upon z minus a into z minus b. We can just split this function into two sequences. So how we can split? We can write z minus a, and again we can split this z minus b. So we can say this is what? This is f of z now. This is f of z, this is f of z, and this is what? This we can assume g of z. So this we can just write like this. This is tab z inverse z square upon z minus a z minus b. We can write like this: z upon z minus a into z upon z minus b. Now we want to write the convolution theorem. So what we will do, we'll just apply this particular formula because we have now capital F of Z. This is what? This is capital F of Z, and this is what? G of Z. So you are using this formula Fz into Gz equals to Fn into Gn. So what we will do, we will just write Fn of this, Fn of this. So for this, first of all, using the formula Z inverse of this is star. The dot is replaced by star because you are using the convolution theorem concept. So we'll write Z inverse of Z upon Z minus A star Z inverse Z upon Z minus B. Now we have to write the Z inverse of this. So in the list already we know if we are writing Z inverse upon Z minus A, so this is equals to a to the power n. Similarly, if we want to write Z inverse of Z upon Z minus B, this is b to the power n. Already we know in the formula, in the list standard result, we have seen the first number formula कि Z inverse of Z upon Z minus A is equals to a to the power n. So this result we are using in this particular question, and we are using convolution concept. So the same result I have used here. This is now an and star remains same into bn. Now the purpose is we have answer of this problem, but we have not solved this particular star here. So what we will do to remove this star, we will use convolution concept. What is the convolution concept? Ki if we have two sequences like fn star gn, we have two sequences, so we just replace the first sequence by k and second by n minus k and just put summation 0 to n. And using the dot simple product, so the same concept we are using, we are writing a to the power k, and this is now b to the power n minus k because n is replaced by n minus k, and the summation starting from 0 to n. Now what we can do, we can in this problem we can just since here summation is varying from k vary from 0 to n, but in this week if we are splitting this b to the power n, b to the power minus k, so b to the power n we can take out and just write k vary from 0 to n ak upon b to the power minus k or b upon b to the power k. So ultimately in the next step we can write this a upon b to the power k and summation vary from k vary from 0 to n. So these are the simple mathematics step which we are following. So what we are doing here, we are just putting the value k0 to n because this is the summation. So just put here k0 something to the power 0 1. So this is 1 plus a by b to the power 1 a by b square up to a by b to the power n. So we know this particular series, this is sum of GP series, finite GP series. Why we are saying finite? Because the number of term is 0 to n. So what is the sum of the finite series? Always for the sum of finite series, if it is from 1 to n, the series, the terms are 1 to n, we write r to the power n plus 1 minus 1 upon r minus 1. If the terms are 1 to n, so the same we are writing here formula r to the power n plus 1 minus 1 upon r minus 1. So what is the common ratio here? The common ratio a by b by 1 is a by b square by a by b, that is a by b. So common ratio here is a by b. So putting the value of r here, a upon b to the power n plus 1, a by b to the power a by b minus 1. So we'll get something here. So what is the result here? The result here is a to the power n plus 1, and if we are taking this as a LCM, minus b to the power n plus 1 upon b to the power n plus 1. This, if we are taking LCM, we'll get a minus b upon b. So after some calculations, if we are taking this as a common, or we are splitting this b to the power n into b, so this b is cancelling and this b to the power n is also cancelling. So finally we have this result, a to the power n plus 1 minus b to the power n plus 1 upon a minus b. So this is the answer of the problem, z inverse of z square upon z minus a into z minus b, which is equivalent to a to the power n plus 1 minus b to the power n plus 1 upon a minus b. So this is your result. Z inverse of z square upon z minus a into z minus b, this is equals to a to the power n plus 1 minus b to the power n plus 1 upon a minus b. So in this way we can use convolution theorem in the question in which we have the product of two sequences. The product of two sequences means in this question the first sequence is z upon z minus a and another sequence is z upon z minus b. So the same concept we will use in another question. So now I am showing other question. See this question number 2 now. What is question? Let's see. Using convolution theorem, find z inverse of z square upon z minus 1 into z minus 3. So the same thing what we can do in the solution part. We'll just split this function into two sequences. So z inverse z square upon z minus 1 into z minus 3 can be written z upon z minus 1 into z upon z minus 3. So we have now two sequences. This is Fn we can call, and this is Gn. Fn and Gn. We have, this is, or we can say f of not f of n. This is f of z, and this is g of z. So we are finding the z inverse transform of these two functions, fz into gz. So we'll just write the z inverse convolution formula. We'll just split this into two z inverse function, z inverse of z upon z minus 1. This dot is replaced by star. So star will write here, star means we are convoluting these two sequences, which is the function of z inverse z upon z minus 3. Now just use the standard result 1 and find out the z inverse transform of this. So this is 1 to the power n and this is 3 to the power n. From this formula already written here, z inverse z upon z minus a, which is a to the power n, and this is the function of n. So now what we can do to remove this star, we have to use the convolution formula. So what is the convolution formula? This is equals to summation k0 to n 1 to the power k into 3 to the power n minus k, because the second sequence we always replace in the second sequence we always replace n by n minus k. So just replace here n by n minus k and just simple use dot, because this is a simple product now. So now we can just use the summation here k0 to n. So if you are putting the value of k is 1 to the power 0 is 1, and here this will be to 3 to the power n. If you are putting k equals to 1, you will get 3 to the power n minus 1 plus 3n minus 2 if we are putting k equals to 2, and so on. If we are putting finally k equals to n, we'll get 3 to the power 0. So ultimately this we can write first 1 plus 3 square, 3 cube, and lastly 3 to the power n. So this is again the sum of the GP series, but these are finite term 1 to n. If we have 1 to n terms and these are in the GP series, so always we use this formula r to the power n minus 1 upon r minus 1. This formula always we use to find the sum of the finite terms if this is in the GP series. So what is common ratio here? We are seeing common ratio 3 by 1, 3 square by 3, that is it is 3. So here R equals to 3 means common ratio equals to 3. So just substitute this common ratio in the formula. We'll get 3 to the power n plus 1 minus 1 upon 3 minus 1. So this is your final answer after solving this. So 3 to the power n plus 1 minus 1 upon 2 is the z inverse transform of this function, which is given in the question, z square upon z minus 1 into z minus 3. Now see uh, other question. One more question we'll solve here. The question is, find the z inverse of 8z square upon 2z minus 1 into 4z minus 1 using convolution theorem. So we are finding z inverse of 8z square upon 2z minus 1 into 4z minus 1, and which is we can write as a 8z square. This we can take common. So we have z minus half. If we are taking 4 common, we have z minus 4 1 by 4. This is cancelling and this is cancelling. 4 to the 8 cancelling. So we have now in the next step z square upon z minus half into z minus 1 by 4. So now again we are seeing we can split these into the product of sequences. So we'll write we have the first z transform and the second means this is f of z and this is what g of z. So again apply the same formula of the z inverse. What is the formula? F of z into g of z, and this you can write by using the convolution formula. We can just split this first, z inverse f of z, this dot is replaced by star, and we'll write z inverse of g of z. So using the first z inverse of fz here, which is what fz, z upon z minus half, and the second g of z, which is z upon z minus 1 by 4. Finding the z inverse of this, the z inverse of this is half to the power n by using the standard result 1. The z inverse of this again by the standard result 1 by 4 to the power n, but still we have not solved this star. To solve this star, again you will use the same concept fn star gn. What is fn star gn? This we can write summation fk, means you have to write k vary from 0 to n, then this n is replaced by n minus k. So the same formula now I will apply to remove this star. 1 by 4 to the power k now, because n is replacing k, and then in the next n is replacing by n minus k, and just put dot here, means simple product. Now we can use in this question we can take half to the power n common, not common means you can just write, because summation is varying from k, so we can write half to the power n outside and just take the summation for the kth term. These are the kth term only, this is the sequence the k, and this is also sequence of k. Now if our wish, what we can do, we can simplify it first. This we can simplify. 1 by 4 to the power k, 1 by 2 to the power minus k, means this we can write to the power k, or if we are taking both together, we'll get 2 by 4 to the power k. This is cancelling. So this 2 by 4 is now 1 by 2 to the power k. So if we'll just find the summation of it, so we'll get here after putting value of k equals to 0, 1, then half square, then half to the power n. So this is also GP series, sum of the nth term of the GP series. But here the common ratio is half. So since common ratio half, which is less than 1, so instead of using r to the power n plus 1, we will use the formula 1 minus r to the power n plus 1 upon 1 minus r. So this formula we have to use as a sum of the finite terms of the GP series. So what is r here? R is half, which is less than 1. So use this formula 1 minus half to the power n plus 1 upon 1 minus half. Solving this particular completely, this to the power n plus 1, I'm taking LCM. So we'll get this value, and 1 minus half is half. So solving this further completely, half to the power, this half we can write as half to the power n minus 1, and to the power n plus 1 and taking common. So this you will get this. After cancelling, we have this final result. These are general mathematics only, which we have used to get this small result, half to the power n minus 1 minus half to the power 2n. Or if we'll just solve it, this is the product here, huh? If we will solve it, we'll get half to the power n minus 1, and this is your answer, half to the power n minus 1. After solving, you'll get this particular answer, right? So what we're looking here, to solve z inverse of the function, which is like the product of two sequence, always we have to use convolution theorem, or we can also use partial fraction. So in the next lecture, in the next notes, I will provide you how to find z inverse transform z inverse transform by using partial fraction. So let's see here. These are I'm just showing these are some important question for the practice. By using convolution theorem, solve z inverse 12 upon 3 minus z to the power minus 1, 4 minus z to the power minus 1, and also here are answers. So you all students can solve these problem yourself. Question number 1 to 5, these are very easy, and the same concept which I taught you, you will use to solve these particular problem. Okay, so thank you everyone.